Monday. Hey, cousin. Let's see. Hey there, beautiful people. Peace, peace, peace. This is Palo Santo. If you're not familiar, I'm just cleansing the air, the energy. Think about Lysol or Febreze, but a more holistic approach to that with more benefits. So, I hope that you are vibrating peacefully wherever you are in the world, whatever time you're seeing this. I pray that you are at peace in your spirit. And if not, you've definitely come to the right place at the right time. I don't believe in coincidences, so I believe that it's divine that you're here right now and that I'm here right now with you virtually. So, I'm grateful to be here. My name is Liv. If you don't know, obviously, if you're on this page, you see that it's Live So Graceful. That's me. I be Liv, and I be so graceful. At least I aspire and intend to be graceful, to live so gracefully, to be so graceful, and to realize that anything that we desire for ourselves, we have the capacity to attain and to realize, to actualize. And it's dependent upon the action that we take. So to have the desire and the vision is not enough by itself. We have to have effort and action to couple with that vision and that desire to equate the result that we want or that we have the power to attain. Peace and love, y'all. Thank you for the love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so what was I just talking about? Oh, yes. So if we want to be more graceful, if we want to be more peaceful, if we want to be more joyful, if we want to be more successful, you want to have more money, whatever your end result is that you can see in your mind's eye, you have the power to attain that. If you didn't, you wouldn't even be able to visualize it. You wouldn't even be able to see it. Everything that we see now in the physical, this shirt, these shorts, this chair, this pillow, this phone, the whatever, everything that we see now in the physical, it started as a vision. It started as something that was unseen to anybody and everybody else other than the person who has the capacity to bring it to fruition, to make it happen, to realize it, to make it real, to actualize it, to make it an actual thing, okay? So everything starts in the non-physical. Everything that we see in the physical, the tangible, the 3D reality, it began in the non-physical, the non-tangible, the spiritual, that which we cannot see but we can recognize, like the breath. The breath it's not really physical. You can't see the breath, you can't measure the breath, but you know that you are breathing, you know that you are alive. So the breath is spiritual, and our breath is really our direct connection to spirit. This got deep really fast, so because it's all connected. And so today's topic of our video is faith versus fear. Which one are you choosing? Whether we realize it or not, all of our choices, our decisions, our thoughts, our actions, they are influenced and determined by or dictated by, if you will, one of two things: faith or fear. Faith or fear. These are at the root of why we do what we do, why we say what we say, why we think what we think, or how we do those things. Okay, so take a moment to think about what the word faith means to you. Not what you've been told it is, but if you really, if you met someone who never heard faith before, they never knew that word, how would you describe it to them? How would you define it? Like, take a moment to really think about that. Okay. And then I want you to take a moment and think about the same for fear. And you don't have to do it right now. Maybe this is something you reflect upon later. What does fear mean to you? How do you describe it? How do you define fear? And when you get clear on these two things, it can help you to realize which one or which ones are determining your decisions. The way you show up, the way you speak, the way you dress, where you go, just any of it, all of it, what you do for money, what type of relationships you settle for, or that, what type of relationships you settle for or don't. Faith and fear are at the base of all of these things, if we take the time to lean into it. Okay, so I wrote down the definition of these two words because I like words. Etymology is my thing. I like to know where words come from, what are their origin, and what was its original meaning, not what have we adopted it to be or have we adapted it to fit the current time, but what does this word originally mean? Original, origin. Where is its origin? From where did it originate? What was its starting point? Okay, so the word faith can be defined as the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. And that came from the Bible, Hebrews 11:1. I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person. I take bits and pieces from all paths because I do believe the paths are many. The truth is one. We all are living life through a different lens, and yet the life force that is within us is the same. So I feel like there's a little bit to learn from everywhere. Everything can be a teacher. Everyone can be a teacher. Okay, so faith, defined as the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. So to me, another word for one single word for that would be trust. Faith equals trust. Having a immovable knowing that this is what it is. Trust. Okay, and then fear is, Zeus is right here sleeping. He's snoring right now, so I'm trying to focus on what I'm saying, but just hold on, guys. Just for a second. Like, you gotta see this. He's dreaming right now. Zeus. Zeusy, you're sleeping? You're snoring. Can you keep it down a little bit? Okay, thank you. It's a beautiful day here in South Florida. South Florida. See how my mind just went squirrel? Okay, so back to where I was. Let's see. She said, "Nah, let my dog be great." I can't think he's over here like he works a 9 to 5. Hey Quan, peace and love, beautiful people. Electric Fit. Let's see, Phase ENT, Charles 305, Bratliff 2315. I see y'all. I'm here with y'all. Thank you for being here. I love you. Okay, so where was I? We were about to define fear. Okay, so fear is defined as an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. One more time. Fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that something is dangerous, likely to cause pain, a threat. is having belief in something that you cannot see, but you believe, that you trust. Fear is also putting belief into something you can't see, but you don't trust it. It's unpleasant. You have a feeling that it's dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. Okay, so one of these empowers us and the other disempowers us. One of these sparks our curiosity, which invites us to grow, which invites us to expand beyond our comfort zone. The other is more to keep us safe, but really to keep us in a comfort zone, which comfort zones might seem safe, but nothing grows there. And if anything in life ceases to grow, it ceases to live. And a lot of people aren't living. They're alive, but they're not living. They're just existing. And it's sad to see, because one of the main reasons they're not living is because they exist in a fear-based environment. Our thoughts are the seeds that we plant into the garden of our life. What we plant into the garden of our life is what will grow or what will expand. So, if you're planting seeds of fear, what do you think will grow from that? If you really want something, you really, really want something, you're like, I really, 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 really want this, I really want this, but I probably won't get it because of this, or this is happening, or maybe it's this, or fear starts to creep in. Fear starts to creep in. It's a natural thing that happens. It starts to creep in. What do you do in that moment? Do you continue to follow the narrative of that fear and choose to believe that the things that you cannot see are a threat, are dangerous, are unfavorable to you? Then what would be the point of planting your seed in the first place? So you sow, as you sow, shall you reap. You know what I'm saying. The words are getting a little jumbled because now I'm thinking about sow, S-O, and S-E-W, and S-O-W, and how there's so many ways to say the same thing, but they have different meanings. I digress. So, back to what I'm saying. It's a better use of your energy to plant seeds of faith, to have trust and belief that no matter what it is that you put into the ground, that you think, that you want for yourself, that you desire, it shall come to be. All things are always aligning in your favor. I have a wall art hanging on my wall, and it says, faith tells me that no matter what lies ahead on my path, God is already there. Hello, somebody. No matter what lies ahead on my path, God is already there. You've made it through 100% of your worst days. Those days that you thought it was the end and you couldn't overcome and woe is me. And I'm not saying that those things weren't hard or challenging. We all have a sad story. We all have challenging experiences. And it's not to compare mine against yours. It's to realize that we're a lot more alike than we are different. We all have things that we have experienced and needed to experience to be able to be who we currently are. And then we can recognize and understand that even who I currently am is not who I am going to be and growing to be. But we're only growing if we're planting seeds that are fruitful. Be fruitful and multiply. Who we are as divine beings having a human experience is powerful. We are God in human form. I read something the other day and it said, man is God with fear. And God is man without fear. Do you hear me though? And God said, let us make man, humankind, because 1 and 2, let us make man in our image. Again, I'm not religious. This is spiritual. We are born with a spirit and we're taught religion. Just like we're born with a universal language, but we're taught different languages based on the regions that we are in the world. How you say something in Spanish and how I say it in English and how someone else says it in French sound different, but we're all saying the same things. So when we can focus less on our differences and more on that which we share in common, we allow ourselves to grow and expand, not only individually, but as a collective. In our society and in our world now, we always want to be so individualized and separated and divided. And that's really what keeps us lower vibrationally a lot of the time. It's only when we choose to unite and to connect and to join with others, with ourselves first and foremost, but with others as well. We grow, we expand. I'm getting a call right now, so I hope you guys can still hear me. Hopefully the sound didn't cut off. But so yeah, faith and fear both require putting belief into something that is unseen. When you boil it down, that's what it is. Faith and fear both require putting belief into something that is unseen. So why choose to put in fear, the energy, the time, the effort, the imagination? Why choose to invest that into fear when you can invest that same amount of energy, time, effort, imagination into faith, into trusting that everything is aligning in your favor? You are right where you need to be. You are divinely guided and protected. Everything on your path is purposeful, if you choose to see it as so. Those things that you felt were distractions or detours or blockages, all of those things were purposeful to bring you to this current version of yourself. And if you realize that so many of your decisions in the past have been fear-based and you've still made it to this current version of yourself, imagine just imagine the ways that your life would transform and shift if you chose to start investing that much time, energy, and effort into having faith in yourself, in your life, in your purpose, in your path. Just imagine. Instead of what's the worst that could happen. When people say that, it's just like, I cringe. Why would you want to waste your imagination thinking of the worst thing that could happen when you want to do something? Like, you sure you want to do that? Yeah. What's the worst that could happen? What? No. What's the best that could happen? What's the most that could happen? So, yeah. That's it. That's the message today. Faith versus fear. Which one are you choosing? Which one are you choosing? Faith and fear cannot reside in the same place at the same time. They don't mix. And so if you say that you have faith, but you're being guided by fear, it's time to reevaluate. And if you are making your decisions based in fear, the first step is just acknowledging it. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, I have been making that decision was out of fear. I said it was because I didn't want to invest the time, or it cost too much this, or it was this. You can boil it down to one root word. Whatever phrase that you're thinking of, I can't afford that. Okay, take it down. Why can't I afford that? Because I don't have the money. Is it money that I don't have, or is it the desire or the willingness to acquire that, or to put forth the effort to do what it requires to get that? That's just one example. Because a scarce mindset, a scarcity mindset, is based in fear. It's based in lack. When you have faith, you realize that you live in an abundant universe. You realize that you are a divine being having a human experience, and that all of the abundance already lies within you. You are a part of nature, and nature is a part of you. And when you look out in the world, not on the media, like when you open your door and look outside, you will see that nature is abundant. Nature is never lacking for anything, ever. Ever. And nothing in nature rushes, and yet everything is accomplished. Everything in nature takes its time, its own time. It doesn't rush. It doesn't try to be a certain place at a certain time. It just is. It just exists. We are a reflection of that. We are nature. We're nature in human form. We are abundant already. Everything starts in the mind. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Everything that we hold in our hand right now started as a vision in someone's mind. What seeds are you planting into the garden of your life? Seeds of faith or seeds of fear? What are you watering? Those are your actions. The intention is the thought, the seed. The watering of that seed are your actions, your habits, what you do repeatedly. And then what grows from that will, of course, the environment as well. Where are you? Who you're around, what you listen to, what you're watching. All of those things will determine what grows. Think about it. In nature, if I take a seed, I need some key ingredients or elements, right? I need soil. I can't just hold it in the air and be like, all right, I'm ready to grow this seed. No, I need to put it in soil. I need to cover it. I need to water it. And depending on what type of seed I just planted, I might need to water it more or less frequently. It may need more or less sunlight. You get what I'm saying? The environments might need to be different, but there's still a process. The seed goes in, it's covered, water, elements, the air, the magic in the soil. Magic is just, again, another thing that we can't see, but it exists. That's another topic though. So eventually, once the seed has been nurtured and nourished and taken care of, it will blossom. And that seed has the potential to reach its fullest, highest, most expressive form or version of itself, right? An acorn has the full potential to become an oak tree. Whether it reaches that oak tree is up to the elements, the seed, etc. So this is reflective of us in our lives. If you're wanting to grow something, you're wanting to see something happen in your life, you start with the seeds that you're planting. You start at the smallest level and you work from there up. You plant the seeds. There's a quote that says, why would you pick up in fear? Why would you harvest in fear what you planted in faith? Plant your seeds in faith. Know that it has the potential to be what you envision, what you see. If it's you with less weight in your body, if it's you with a healthier mindset, if it's you with a more outgoing spirit or energy, if it's you with healing relationships, whatever it is that you see, if it's you having more money, if it's you, whatever, you've already seen the end in mind. That's how God creates. God creates with the end in mind. God sees it first, sees it in its fullness first, and then begins the creation process. That is us. And God said, let us make man in our image. We are God. God is we. God energy is within us. So we have the power to direct things. And God said, so we plant the seeds by speaking into existence what it is that we desire. Stop speaking fear-based things into and over your life and the lives of others. Stop allowing people to speak fear-based thoughts and narratives into your life. You don't have to agree with that. You get to choose what seeds are planted in the garden of your life. You do. You're the gardener. So, plant the seeds. Plant it in faith. Water it with your words and your actions, repetition, because our actions form our habits, and our habits form our character. And if you go even smaller, it's your thoughts. Your thoughts form your words form your actions form your habits. Your habits form your character. So if you want to shift and change your character, which is the end result, you start at the most molecular point, which would be the seed or the thought, the intention. And when you start to shift that, everything else is going to shift. It has no choice but to. We don't attract what we want. We attract what we are. Energetically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. We attract what we are, not what we want. Now, if you want that and you are that, you're going to get that. If you want that and you're not that, even if you get it, it's not going to stay because you don't have the vibration, no match. You don't have the synchronicity, the reciprocity. So it's not a match. So yeah. I feel like I was just talking for a hot little minute there. Let's see who we got in here. Peace and love, beautiful people. Thank you for being here. I pray this message reached you, reached who it needed to reach in the most divine way, the most divine timing. Rachel, peace. 303 High Priestess was in this thing. Oh my goodness, I love her. Umi B, oh I love her too. Who else we got in here? Southern Coffee. Wake the Focus Up. I like that name. Ariel Young. Jonathan Warner. Peace King. Okay, so I've decided that I'm going to be doing this live thing on Mondays every week. Every week. I need at least one person to hold me accountable to it. I'm going to do it, but the accountability always helps, you know. Every week on Mondays, I'm going to do like a midday mindfulness type conversation or topic or something of the like. So it'll be like a midday mindfulness with Liv or live with Liv, midday Monday, something like that. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you like. What sounds good? Whatever we're going to call it, it's going to be every Monday, midday. And it'll just be something like this. If you have anything you want me to talk about, or a certain topic, a certain question, a certain anything, like you can DM me. I tried to go live on YouTube with this, but YouTube was acting kind of weird. So I'm going to go live on Instagram. And then I'm going to upload the replay on YouTube. So if you see this now, and you want to see it again, you have to go to my YouTube. The link's in my bio. You can subscribe there. And then I'll just upload that every Monday as well. Hey Valencia, I was just promoting me getting on YouTube every week on Monday, midday Monday with Liv. Valencia just started a YouTube channel too. So yeah, I'll be going live on Instagram every Monday midday, and then I'll share the replay on my YouTube channel. So yeah, I think that's all I got for y'all. We've been on here a hot little minute, and I'm like, oof. Sometimes spirit comes through, and it's just like, this message was on my heart, y'all. Like, I had to share it. I was dressed for the beach. I was supposed to go with a friend earlier, and we ended up not going, and I was kind of sad because I was going to make the video, but we were going to link at 10. I was like, well, I don't want to rush to do the video, so I'll just do it later. And then I didn't hear back from her. I never heard from her this AM. She ended up oversleeping. But anywho, at first I was like, dang, I thought we were going to do this. Anyway, it was meant for me to do this video. And then I went on YouTube and I tried to go live on my phone and then on the computer, and it was like giving me some issues. I feel like it was all these obstacles to try to see if I was going to change my mind about making the video. But I made a promise to myself yesterday that I'm no longer allowing myself to hold me back. I'm no longer allowing myself to dim my own light. I'm no longer allowing myself to minimize myself. It's time to take up all the space that I have been created to take up. It's time for me to express all of the messages that I know are on my heart to share. It's time for me to take action. When Spirit speaks, move. What are you hesitating for? It's fear. It's fear. It's fear. And I'm speaking to you, but I'm also speaking to me. Or I'm speaking to me and I'm also speaking to you. Either way we see it, there's only one of us here, right? The paths are many. The truth is one. Nature is but different expressions of the same source. That is what we are. So it's time to actualize our full potential. At least start to become curious about what you're capable of when you really believe that you're capable of it. Nothing is impossible to you. Nothing is impossible with God. And I feel like at the root of faith is God. At the root of fear, God isn't there. How could God and fear be in the same place at the same time? How can love and anything that's not love be in the same place at the same time? It can't. We call these things by different names, but it's all just realizing there is a duality in all things. There's a time and a place for all things. Recognize that fear is not necessarily a bad thing. I don't believe in good or bad. I think those are subjective terms that don't really allow us to go into what is really being presented. Good and bad may be safe and unsafe. We could say that. Fear is necessary. I was going to say it's good. Fear is necessary in unsafe situations or circumstances. If something is unsafe, you need fear to activate your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight response, so that you can do what you need to do in those moments and in those times. But fear is not necessary when you're just living simply. And most of us live simply. We just make it more complex in our mind. The fear rarely goes beyond our mind. Tell me, how many times has the worst case scenario that you've ever made up in your mind, how many times has it actually happened? I'll wait. Because very rarely does the worst case scenario ever come to play out. We live in a universe of balance. We live in a a divine, intelligent universe, multiverse, that knows and understands balance. That's why there are natural laws. And so faith is trusting that we live in a balanced universe that has the ability to create endlessly. Nature will never run out of itself. Humans might run themselves out of nature, but nature will never run out of itself. We have to return home to ourselves. We have to return to our center, return to our essence, which is balance, which is peace, which is presence, which is power. We have the power and the authority to direct things, circumstances, situations in the way that we desire it to be. That's what separates us from animals. That's what separates us from the rest of nature. We have a higher intelligence to be able to direct things in the way that we want it to be. Why would you choose to direct it in a fearful way, down a path of fear? You're too powerful for that. You're too creative for that. Okay? You're too amazing for that. So from this moment forward, we're planting seeds of faith. We're speaking life into and over ourselves. Growth, expansion, abundance, clarity, peace, love, joy. What'd I miss? I missed some words. Give me something else. We are the co-creators of our reality. We are the captain of our ship and the master of our fate. So, however we choose to direct our ship, to maneuver our fate, we're the gardener of our life. However we choose to garden our lives, what seeds we plant, whether they're based in faith or fear, just know that we do have the power to choose and to decide. So, moving forward, I just want to encourage you to choose faith. Choose to believe that everything is always aligning in your favor. Choose to believe that you are right where you need to be in any given moment. Choose to know that you are divinely guided and protected, and there's nothing that you need to fear, ever. I think it's interesting. I'll say this last thing and then I'll go. I think it's interesting that at the end of people's lives, you can tell if they lived their life in faith or in fear. The people who lived their life in faith, let's start with fear. The people who choose to live their life in fear, at the end of their life, they're fearful. They're not ready. Or, they start to think about all the things that they didn't do or who they didn't make things right with, because when they had the time and the chance to, maybe they were fearful of addressing certain things or living a certain way. So at the end of their life, they're still living in fear. So now they're dying in fear. Dang, doesn't that sound like it just sucks? And then you have the people who lived their life in faith, or at least have come to a point of peace, because they're at peace when they pass. I don't believe energy doesn't die, it just transforms. So we pass onward. But at the end of your transition, at the end of your life, when it's time for that transition, it will show you if you lived your life based in fear or in faith, in fear or in love. So that's my message for you beautiful people. I'm going to put this replay up on YouTube. So if you want, you can go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Live So Graceful. Thank you for being here. Stay beautiful. Stay blessed. every Monday, midday Monday. Midday Monday, okay? Don't forget. I love you. Peace. Till next time.